Okay, thank you. I'm just mindful of the time here. I've prepared just three or four images from Power, but I do have some remarks. I might cut it a bit short. As Sonia said at the beginning, we're hopeful that the exhibition will be able to open soon. Of course, it's been postponed, and it will be on until September the 18th, so you'll have plenty of opportunity to see it. I want to introduce my remarks by saying that, in my opinion, it's not necessary to have the factual background that I'm about to speak to in order to engage with the artwork. Art is not about getting the facts right. However, given that we're all here and have benefited from this wonderful learning experience with Natalie, I thought I would draw some connections for you for when you are able to visit the artwork. And I'll mention that I am a member of the RAP Public Advisory Committee, and I have benefited, the artwork has benefited a great deal from my learning on the committee and the amazing work that Natalie and her governmental and non-governmental colleagues do. So I'm going to the image and I'm going to share screen. There we go. What happened?
You're sharing, so you can
I'm
just.
sharing, but I'm not sure. There we go. That should be it.
Perfect.
Now, thank you.
Yes, thanks.
All right. So these are marsh bird monitors, Marcy Jacqueline, Bob Manson, and Roy Surgenfrey. And one of the NGO partners in the marsh bird monitoring program that's been going on for many years is Birds Canada. So when you encounter this image in the artwork, this is a still from the 3-channel video. It may read as just bird watching, but I'm going to give you a bit of background. So I'm reading a short quote from one of the many documents Natalie prepares as part of her work on the degradation of wildlife populations, which is the BUI, beneficial use impairment number 3B, which Natalie has just spoken of. Wildlife, specifically species which are part of the aquatic ecosystem, are important ecological indicators commonly used for understanding the overall condition of the waters of the Great Lakes in an area of concern. Aquatic wildlife species used for this indicator are those that spend most or all of their lives near water and rely on the Niagara River for breeding and feeding. The species used to assess this impairment are intended to represent the biological integrity of the aquatic ecosystem and can also provide information about the water's chemical and physical condition in response to stressors within the AOC, such as legacy pollutants or poor habitat quantity or quality. And those legacy pollutants, of course, are what Natalie showed us these images from early 1900s and such. So this image is from video shot at Gonders Flats in Fort Erie, which is, of course, the upriver part of the river. And Gonders Flats is an existing established wetland site, and improvements to wetland and riparian area were completed in 2018-19. So I asked Marcy, pictured here, if she would identify 3 of the birds which the monitors were looking for on this day that I accompanied them. And she identified American bittern and least bittern and how much they would like to see a black tern nesting. And I've included American bittern and black tern calls in the audio program. I had an audio file lined up, but I'm not going to play it because of time. We'll move on to, I think we'll move on to the second slide. All right, so this second slide is from video shot near the mouth of Boyers Creek. And you'll remember that in Natalie's presentation, she mentioned the riparian restoration. So I'm going to read a little bit from the Niagara Parks Commission, which is a very important partner in this remedial action. So beginning in 2016, in collaboration with the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources, Forestry and Environment and Climate Change Canada, Niagara Parks began a series of coastal wetlands restoration projects to reduce shoreline erosion and provide essential fish habitat at 7 strategic locations in the Niagara River. And I'll remind you of that map that Natalie showed us in her presentation. So the Boyers Creek Coastal Wetland Project is unique in that it repurposed the 30-foot tall blue spruce, which was decorated and displayed in Queen Victoria Park in Niagara Falls and for Christmas in the past holiday season, as the anchoring material for the riverbed. And you'll remember that Natalie referred to the extensive use of the dead ash trees. So there's information on the Niagara Parks website about this project, and this was 2019. So riparian buffer, we're looking here at a riparian buffer. It's a vegetated strip close to the water, and they filter pollution, control erosion, and provide habitat and nutrients to the water. And Natalie did expound on all of those factors. And coastal wetland, this is a quote also for NPC, the coastal wetland habitat currently is limited to 8% of the Canadian shoreline. It limits overall fish community production in the upper river for all species, particularly the top predators, which include walleye, by the way, which is very favorite for eating. And sections of the shoreline are dominated by non-native species and poor quality habitat. So this is ongoing work, as Natalie has indicated. Oh, and I this time had success in advancing. This third slide is back with the marsh bird monitors at Dufferin Island, and I'm going to go straight to the fourth slide. And you saw this also in Natalie's presentation. So this image is from video I shot at the Bioswale in Simcoe Park in Niagara-on-the-Lake, and it was built just last year, 2020. And I'm going to read you a little bit from from Natalie's media release that can be found on the website. The Simcoe Park Water Quality Improvement Project consisted of the construction of the bioswale. It's a low impact development technique featuring a constructed channel and special materials and plants. I'll cut this short because Natalie has spoken to that. And this is one of several other remediation activities that the town of Niagara-on-the-Lake conducted to deal with the improvement of the quality of water discharged to the Niagara River as part of the RAP goals. And this water quality improvement project was critical in completing actions required to remove the beach closings, BUI, as part of the Niagara River RAP. And I'll just end by making the personal comment that I thought that Queen's Royal Beach in Niagara-on-the-Lake was actually was part of Lake Ontario. And in fact, as you saw very beautifully in the map that Natalie showed, it discharges and the beach is on actually the mouth. And there's also video in Power, which I shot while standing on the sandbar at the mouth. And the final shot shows Fort Niagara, which is one of the 2 sites where the Treaty of Niagara of 1764 was negotiated. So I'm giving an artist talk at a later date, and I just wanted to make this connection between Natalie's talk and my work. Thank you.